Welcome back to the Chova podcast with Nick and Jay. We have a few articles to go through with you, and this section is UK news.
The truth. Boris Johnson says there is a good chance social distancing can be scrapped next month. Basically, we have an update coming on May 17th anyway with the reducing of the lockdown procedures, but it's something that's definitely going to affect my life dramatically because like a lot of you guys, I work in an office, and because of the social distancing measures, my office is quite small. So I've been working from home over the last year. So being able to work back in the office and kind of get some sense of normal social life going is something really crucial to my life. What about you, Joe?
Just a bit of hope, really, isn't it? We don't actually know for sure that it's all going to end in June, but it's nice to see a bit of potential light at the end of the tunnel that we might be moving out of this, really.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, it feels so alienating still because you walk past people in the street and I'm still 6 foot away, but if we're both turning a corner or crossing a road, it's kind of like there's this imaginary bamboo pole between us. And I feel like it's like poking me in the ribs, and I'm getting stared at daggers if I like breathe in the general direction of somebody I'm walking past. In general public open space, like as if I'm some monster, which I'm not. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on social distancing. I understand it works, and I understand the reasons and the masks and everything, and I'm not against them. It just makes me irate.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have found, even from the latest kind of relaxing, that like there's basically gained all this anxiety because they've been locked in for so long. So it's going to be a big change for a lot of people and a shock, I think, especially when the next kind of step down comes.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, I have developed like I've not been a stranger to anxiety in my life, but because of the lockdown, I personally have developed like this like rebound anxiety where I feel like I need to have a few drinks down me to enjoy socializing. Like I went out yesterday into Oxford and I was like, okay, I need to be buzzed. And, you know, it's just not worth like it just done a number on a lot of people's mental health. It's not good.
Yeah, what was it like going anyway? Was it busy or?
Yeah, we queued. So I had a mate I haven't seen for ages. We went out and basically he we went to the Westgate rooftop bar in Oxford, and there's a place called the Alchemist. And in the Alchemist, they only do walk-ins, but there was a queue probably about 20 people long, mainly two per table each. So about a group of 10 groups of two, roughly. Yeah, it was really. We were waiting for about half an hour to get in, get a drink, and then got
It's
ripped
not too
off
bad.
extortionate drinks.
Yeah.
What about on your end? Have you done much socializing?
Only in the local pub really. So we have to book beforehand, and all the tables are outside. It's been quite busy really. I mean, on the weekends it's fully booked. Like it's 50, 60 people out in the garden. It's a good atmosphere again.
Do you think that pub culture is going to suffer, especially when pubs have become open on the inside as well as the outside, with the social distancing measures are still in place? Like, how do you think that's going to? Because I know there's the 2 meter rule and the 1 meter rule. What do you think of the repercussions of that
Well,
long term?
I mean, I think it's going to be. I don't know about long term, but as soon as people are allowed, or they relax it a bit more, I mean, people are going to go crazy. People are going to go out. That first weekend where everything's open again. It's just going to be kind of packed out everywhere really because people are desperate to get out.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like it's a double-edged sword because there's the public health part of it, but there's also the long live the local thing. And like local pubs have been struggling for a lot longer than the pandemic has been happening in the UK, especially. I mean, the tax on beverages in general is so high in the UK currently. Kind of
Yeah, I think a lot of pubs have closed and they won't be opening again. They're just done. It's been too much for them.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I mean, not to veer too far off topic, but I genuinely think that we're coming up to the final nail in the coffin for a lot of pubs that aren't closed already if we don't retract the social distancing rules soon. I understand the concern, especially in the article where Boris Johnson doesn't want to see an influx of diseases being spread. I get that. We don't want another wave, but there's people's livelihoods, there's people's like work at stake. It's a lot more than just the COVID situation.
Yeah, and mental health as well, like we said already.
Hmm.
The next article we have for you is from the Express. It's actually one you selected, isn't it? A teenage murderer back behind bars months after life sentence was cut.
Yeah, so this is, to me, an interesting article for a couple of reasons. One is the headline's a little bit misleading. She was a murderer as a teenager. Um, so she had a whole trial and everything. And this back in 2007, she was 15 years old, and she went out on a vodka and cocaine bender and decided to, well, went into a manic state, it seems, and stabbed a girl called Samantha, I believe her name is. She was a new mum, 18-year-old, called Samantha Madgin in 2007, and left the new mum, well, the baby without the mum. She had a life sentence of 15 years, and it got cut to 11. She had like a day where, like a release day. I don't know what it's called. Do you know? Sorry, what do you call it when somebody has like a day out of prison to see family and stuff?
So day release.
Day release. Yeah, so she had a day release thing, but she broke her conditions of day release, and then she's gone back into prison.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. I think in general sentencing in the UK is far too lax. Um, I mean there was back from last year, a motorcyclist, someone threw an egg at a motorcyclist, hit him in the eye, and blinded him. And he was recently sentenced, the guy who did it, and it was like a year driving ban and a £500 fine. And this
No.
motorcyclist is maimed for life. He's now got disability. He's got one eye. I mean,
Well,
yeah, I just think we need stronger sentences in general.
something strikes me odd about this article when I was reading it. I'll see if I can find the direct quote. The mother said of Jordan Jobson said, "We're not allowed to find out what she's done, but I just hope that nobody has been hurt." So not even the mother knows what the breach in her day release thing was, and that seems peculiar to me. Uh, but I agree that sentencing should be stricter because it does seem like no matter how much people don't like, there's no rehabilitation. We just put people in a box, and it doesn't seem like people are actually learning. There's no re-education. There's no trying to help these people. We're just taking them out of society, which is a big problem. Like this girl's been in prison since 2007, and she got out on day release and everything, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Yeah, and there's just no learning.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of wrap up from what you were saying there. So it says she'd been eligible for parole in 2018 and was moved to an open prison in preparation for release, but she was
Hmm.
returned to high security jail after she threatened an inmate. So I guess in the open prison, it's a lot stricter rules to kind of prove that they've been, rehabilitated or whatever. And
Yeah.
yeah, she's obviously broken that rule.
Okay, so there we go. That's me, like completely. But you get my point though, where it's like she's put in like this high security prison, and it's done nothing for her. She's moved to the lower security prison, and she's been set up for failure almost. I'm not saying she's completely without. It's like she's definitely in control of her actions, but she hasn't been put in an environment that's set her up for success on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, she has to prove that she's being rehabilitated, and by breaking the rules, she can't follow the rules, and that's obviously a bad sign, really.
Can't agree more. Can't agree more. I just think that there's a greater systemic issue that's and she's just a reflection of it in the system.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of kind of greater problems in society, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, there isn't an easy answer, really, I don't think.